Joining us now, Mark Simone, WOR Hall of Fame radio host, Joe Concha, Fox News contributor and author of Progressively Worse. We could get to Progressively Better soon. And Tammy Bruce, also Fox News contributor and author of Fear Itself. Okay, I'm going to start with Joe Concha. There you are.
Hi.
That was my riff. That's the coalition. Democrats didn't understand it. Pollsters didn't understand it. Trump and his people understood it. And the thing is, he wasn't just playing to the base. This is my point. He was expanding the base the whole time. And people just didn't see it for some reason.
I remember it was July 21st. I was in Cape May, New Jersey, just got on vacation. And my wife looks at her phone and says, Biden just dropped out. What do you think? Is it going to be Kamala? I said, yeah, probably, because that's where the money is. She goes, will she have a better chance? I said, absolutely not. She's probably a worse candidate, if that is possible, for the reasons that you mentioned. She goes, why do you think she'll be worse? I remember this like it was yesterday. I said, because she's not going to go into Pennsylvania and connect with the Teamsters, with U.S. Steel, with United Auto Workers in Michigan, Culinary in Nevada. So she didn't have the unions. That is a big, big part of the stool for Democrats. And then the fact that she was hemorrhaging votes and Trump was gaining votes with the black community, with Hispanics. Democrats don't have those three parts of the stool. Crash is over.
Yeah, there it is. And you saw the crash last night. And Tammy Bruce, Trump is broadening. So here, another way to look at it. Republicans used to talk about a big tent. Trump has made the biggest tent ever. I mean, this is a tent that is encompassing so many different groups and surprising so many experts and surprising all the Democrats. That's what I see. That was the story of this election.
You know, and it works because it wasn't decided upon around a table, cultivated by political operatives or advisors. It's because that's who he is as a New Yorker. That's who you have to be, because New York is everyone. It's really the capital of the world. It's everyone's nature, right? You've got to be able to talk to people. You bump into them on the street. It's where you go. It is a popular place where you engage with individuals. So it's his New Yorkerness that made that natural. That was it was and remains his key. This is him organically. It's just this guy doing this. He's not a creation like Biden or Kamala Harris. You don't have to rethink it each night to adjust to what's going on. But I think instinctively he knew to make a business work, you've got to appeal to everyone. Everyone matters.
There you go.
Everyone is part of your process. And that's what he was doing. This campaign, it's a business. The country is the biggest corporation in the world, but it has to be owned by everyone.
I need more customers. I love that. I love that. That's a wonderful metaphor.
That's it.
I just want to say his New Yorkerness, I like that. I would just say his Queens New Yorkerness.
His Queens New York.
You know what I mean? Because, no, the Queens thing is really, the Queens thing goes to the $25 haircut barber shop.
Right.
The Queens thing gets in a garbage truck to hang around and play with it. The Queens thing goes to McDonald's, right? The elites, you know, if you were Harvard, Yale, and Princeton thing, you probably wouldn't have gone in a garbage truck.
Don't understand.
Didn't stop him at all.
Didn't stop him. But people see that as natural. It's not contrived. Anything Kamala did was contrived. Different accents, different things. It was completely fake. Trump has always been exactly himself, and we love him.
Mark Simone, why didn't Kamala and the Democrats understand any of this? Why? They were in denial. I mean, right to the bitter end, she's given a speech that's still attacking Trump as a fascist and a Nazi and whatever else they attacked him with. No policies, nothing ordinary people can understand. Why didn't they see this? Why didn't they get this?
They live in this bubble. Whenever a person says to me, I don't know anybody that votes for Trump, well, then you live in a terrible world. You should, half the people you know should be voting for Trump. You're living in this little bubble. They don't get that he grew up on construction sites. He spent his life on construction sites. He knows those people, those workers. And if you want to inspire your kids, teach them this story. This is the ultimate Rocky story. He's always talked about never give up, making a comeback, work as hard as you can day and night. Don't ever quit. No, if they're shooting at you, don't stop, don't quit. And he put on a demonstration that should be studied forever on how to conduct yourself in business and anywhere. Just fight till the very end and never give up.
He's talking a lot in the last, I would say certainly the last week, maybe the last 2 weeks, of a new golden age in America. And, you know, he'll follow up with prosperity and so forth and so on. It's a vision, okay? So he has a vision. And I think it's an authentic vision. I think he believes that people that know him believe that he believes that. I didn't understand what Kamala's vision was, her vision. I mean, I heard about price controls and rent controls and more entitlements and more government spending and so forth. What was her... He had the vision thing. She had the non-vision thing. The vision thing won.
Well, he had what Reagan had. If you go back and play clips to him 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he was always saying the same things. He never changed. She had this flip-flop. You know, no flip-flopper ever wins. Ask John Kerry. And she had this weird vagueness about her that it's just like Reagan's Morning in America, cleaning up the Jimmy Carter years. And then that's what will happen here.
Joe, let's go back to this. He has this remarkable coalition, as Tammy said. I love this metaphor. A businessman knows you have to expand your customer base. Sure. There's no end to that, really. And he does it, you know, like he goes to the customers. He talks to the customers. You know, I mean, he's head-to-head with the customers. He's literally in the McDonald's, okay? I'm using that as a metaphor. Sure. Or he was literally in the garbage truck, or he's literally in the barbershop. Now, okay. He's going to be president-elect for a couple months, then he's president. What happens here? How does this play out? What do you think?
Well, you talked about, and Tammy's reference there is excellent, about talking to your customers, but who's going to be on his board of directors? Who's going to be his managers that bring this vision through? And you look at the people that were on stage with him the most, right? Obviously, his running mate, JD Vance, what a great story out of the Rust Belt of Ohio to eventually become a senator, a Marine, Yale Law School. And then you have Elon Musk, one of the most successful businessmen and creative minds of all time, never voted for a Republican before, and he's out there. Tulsi Gabbard got more delegates than Kamala Harris did when she ran for president in 2020 as the Democratic nominee. RFK Jr., Vivek, right? This isn't like a bunch of like rich white people on stage with them, you know, saying, hey, tax cuts for the rich. This is a team I think a lot of people voted for on top of Trump, who, to your point, can talk to these folks the way no other politician can, quite frankly.
Tammy, let's talk about JD Vance for a minute. Because Trump said last night, well, it turned out he was a little controversial. I had to sell him, but it turned out. JD Vance, I think, turned out to be quite an asset for him. And the other thing Trump said was he would send JD dealt with all these crazy people on the Sunday talk shows for CNN and MSNBC and NBC and stuff like that. Was JD a big surprise? I mean, really, it came through? What do you think?
I think so. You know, traditionally, we think that when we think about the board of directors, that you want, like, known people, like a Biden or somebody who's got the experience. But we've learned that, in fact, that is a trap. You want fresh ideas. You want somebody who loves the country, but through generationally, Vance is a young man. What is he, 40?
40, yeah.
He's a young man, so he's going to be, he knows how to talk with these people who are sitting across the table from him. You are a bit more, as I will recall, being his age, you are much more invested in the nature of your romanticism, your ideology, what is important to you. You're there to fight for it. And you have a general sense of what's possible. That's what he brings. Plus, his success, where he came from. Look, obviously, a home life that was extraordinary, drugs, the nature of perhaps being another statistic, and rising up out of that. Elon Musk, an immigrant, grew up in a domestic violence household, escaping violence, with a sister and a brother and his mom going from country to country, finally getting here. These are the American stories. In our souls, this is who we can relate to. And that's why he's so appealing. It's why Trump is who he is. Very different background than both of them. But they're still outsiders, strangely enough. It's when FDR was called a traitor to his class because he was rich. So is Trump. So is Musk. Traitors to their class because they care more about the people first, and that's how we find the blend.
The middle Americans, the working folks. I love that. Let's play some sound. We got some tape. The white flag of surrender from Kamala has not yet occurred. Let's play some Trump tape. Message for the next 4 years. Here it comes.
I believe the greatest political movement of all time. We're going to fix everything about our country, and I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness.
I got one more. Play more sound, more tape. We're still waiting for Kamala's surrender speech. Mr. Trump on building a coalition. Play some tape, please.
We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense.
Should have said.
I wrote about that Monday. I just want to say I touted that coalition stuff Monday. I believe you were here for it.
Yeah.
Mark, I want to say Trump winning with those themes and the authenticity that we're all talking about. And Tammy, I love your customer base idea. Probably going to steal it, but I will give you credit for it. When I steal it, I'll give you credit for it. I want to say Trump is a great man. Trump has greatness right now. He has greatness in the opportunity, but what he's done, written off, go back 4 years, all right? Go back to January 6th, go back to January 7th, whatever. Go back to the indictments, go back to the lawfare, go back to putting him in jail for 750 years, go back to the impeachments, go back to the abuse he's taken by the media and his opponents. I mean, I think that he is a great man. He has already proven himself. Now he will go extra and make the country great again.
And yesterday he did a million things. He was up until 3 in the morning. He's a workaholic. Didn't you say Kamala was going to speak about 20 minutes ago? It's not like she has to go back to work. Where is she?
She has a job, Mark. She's still our nation's vice president.
Yeah. And you know what, Larry? Great players in the NFL or Major League Baseball, they make their teammates better. Patrick Mahomes keeps winning. You keep seeing players getting injured on the Chiefs, and he keeps winning with the players that he's got because he makes them better. And Donald Trump last night not only won the Oval, but he got all those Senate candidates that otherwise would not have had a chance over the finish line. Looks like they're going to get Nevada now as well. Kari Lake could get Arizona, perhaps. You could have 54, 55 seats in the Senate. You could do a lot of things with that, and you could get your cabinet through. Same thing with the House. They would have lost it last night without Donald Trump.
All right, so let me ask my producers. We're waiting for Kamala. So we're going to continue our conversation. We may go the whole hour. It's okay.
Cool.
Continue that. I like that. All right, Trump's potential greatness, Trump's actual greatness. Look, I'm a biased observer. I work for him. He's become a personal friend. I was talking to Brookie Rollins, runs AFT. She was a domestic counsel in the Trump White House, a brilliant woman. I might add, a strong woman, intelligent woman, Republican. But he was dead politically. Whether he liked it or not, he was dead politically in January of 2021. All right? That's dead politically. Now, here he is, president again. This is different. I know Grover Cleveland was, elected, then he lost. That's a different time. It didn't. People were shooting at him for 4 years. Okay, they were shooting at him this week while he was developing this incredible, massive victory. There has to be. I don't want to push it too far. He's got governed and so forth. But I think there is greatness in that. I do think this is the greatest political comeback story in American history.
And it relied on his decisions. He had to decide at some point that this is worth fighting for. And normally people fight for things because there's something to gain, right? There's some material gain for it. And that's what we love about the country, right? We all find our level. You're head of a company, and it becomes as big as you want it to be based on your own ambition. But he began to lose things because of it. But he continued to move forward because there was something bigger than him, even bigger than everyone else, and it was the country. And that, I think, was the experience of running for president. I don't think it was in him at first, but he grew into loving the country and understanding his unique role and accepting it. So I disagree that he was dead in that month. It was, and certainly the establishment would disagree because of what they tried to do to him. They knew that if he could act again, he would be back again. And he decided he would, and he was more powerful, and he was driven. The assassination attempts reinforced that as well. His family stood by him. It was the perfect combination, and he had the strength to accept it. Many people turn away from that kind of pressure, but he turned into it, and that's why he is here right now. It's a combination of things. I do think there's a divine intervention, but it's about whether or not, when each of us are faced with something difficult, if we accept it or if we don't.
Mark,
so thank God he did.
Mark Simone, you were one of the few people who had no doubts that he would run again and win. I mean, you were constant about this. I mean, you and I are good personal friends, all of our dinners and whatnot. You never doubted that he would do this.
No. He wrote the book, The Art of the Comeback. It's out of print. I wish they would bring it back. It's a great book. Hey, one other thing everybody's forgetting, the Joe Rogan podcast, I think made a real difference. 75 million people heard that.
Really?
Young people, people that don't normally vote for him. Also,
can I ask you about, stop right there, Joe Rogan, fine, young people. It reminds me of Reagan. Reagan ran, he was not as old as Trump, but he was an old guy. Young people loved Reagan. Trump did extremely well with young people. Why? How do you read that?
Well, and you could hear it in the Rogan podcast. One thing about these young people, they're so young, they're used to these phony politicians. They never saw a really genuine, authentic guy. That's what Reagan was.
He picked up 18 to 29 years old, sorry for the factoid. Trump picked up 19 points from 2020 to yesterday. 19 points, okay? That was the single biggest gainer of the major demographic groups.
I'm telling you, that was the Rogan podcast. 75 million people. And people have never heard him like that. It was a very relaxed Trump. It's the Trump you'd see in a living room talking for 3 hours. Anybody that listened to that would have voted for him.
All right. You guys are great. We got to take a break. One thing's going to happen. Either we bring on some economic stuff, because there is a Fed meeting today, and I want to talk about Mr. Trump's economic policy. Either that or the white flag of surrender from Kamala Harris. One of the two. Something's going to give. This is a great panel. Mark Simone, thank you ever so much. Tammy Bruce, thank you so much. Joe Concha, thank you so much. We appreciate it very much.